Hey YouTube, so today we're talking about a little tiny gun. I did a range video of it. It's this little tiny guy. The Colt 22 short. I forgot what it was for a second, sorry guys. The Colt 22 short. I've done this like 4 or 5 times. I keep dropping the round, so they're so small. So it is a 22 short. You can see it is unloaded. So to show you what a 22 short is, for anyone who doesn't know, here is your 22 long rifle. Here's your 22 short next to it. I didn't drop it that time. So the 22 long rifle is a 40 grain bullet. The short is a 29 grain bullet. And even with that difference, it's a pretty good difference, the 22 long rifle is moving at 1,200, I believe 55 feet for this one. And this 22 short, with its 29 grain projectile, is only moving at 830 feet a second. So a really big difference, even though it's much lighter. So with that big difference, the question that people are going to ask, is it effective against anything? And the answer is yes, it's definitely effective. It's definitely effective against people. Because guns just like this, and small revolvers around the same size, with the exception of having a cylinder that was a 4 or 5 shot, these were extremely popular in the Old West. This was often someone's backup gun, or if they carried 2 revolvers, it'd be a third gun. It was also extremely popular with bartenders. They would carry this in their vest pocket, where no one could see it, completely tucked in. It was very popular for people like that, and they were used against people. They were effective against people. Even sometimes these very small single shot versions. So yes, 22 is effective, 22 short. Recommending it for carrying it, it depends what you're carrying it for. I carry it as a backup sometimes when I'm not carrying this thing, because this thing can get kind of heavy sometimes. So I'll carry it then. I'll also carry it when I'm just in the yard doing something. I'm more likely to come across an aggressive dog that got in the yard, or an aggressive raccoon or something. And this will definitely take care of that. I mean, if you're just going jogging and you want to put something light in your pocket, this would do the job for you, as long as you have like a light knife to go with it. Because it might not stop somebody with a first round. I mean, that's possible with anything. You're increasing the chances of not stopping somebody with a first round with something so small. But it is going to do it. It's definitely going to give you a second to get your knife out, and at least defend yourself long enough for that 22 to take effect on somebody, as long as you get a good shot off with it. Your range is a little limited, but not seriously limited. I can put 100 rounds through it and keep all of them on a silhouette at 7 yards. I wouldn't recommend trying to shoot somebody at that far with this thing. It's more of a very close in-gun, or even full contact with somebody. So, I mean, honestly, not a whole lot to say about this thing. It's a little tiny gun. It's just a single action. Just breaks open to the side. It does have an extractor on it, and it does work pretty well. If you flick it really good, it'll generally get rid of the round. If it does get rid of the round, which by generally I mean it'll do it, it'll probably have 3 that'll stick out of 100. So it does it pretty much every time. When it does, actually the reload can be really fast for it. If you've just got like several of them with you, you just grab one, pop that thing open, drop one in, close it, and you're ready to go. And just do it again. It's actually a fairly fast reloading little gun. It's one major drawback, but again, it's not a range. You wouldn't be using it in any sort of range. It has no rear sights at all. No, that groove is just for the hammer nose. It will not, you cannot use it at all. You have a front sight. You do have the big hammer nose, which you can kind of line up with the front sight and aim somewhat accurately-ish. But it's just not made for that. It is a really nice little gun. I haven't had any problems with it, and I've put several hundred rounds through it. It actually has a really nicely textured hammer on it. Just a nice little gun. So, why would anyone choose this over this? And there's two reasons. One major reason, one smaller reason. First off, the way they're made, the barrel looks a lot bigger on this little thing. And if you just pull that out on somebody, that looks like a much bigger round than this does. It looks like a very, very small gun, and you also have no barrel on this thing. Accuracy-wise, I would honestly have to almost give it to this one. This one you do have this notch that you can kind of use and line up with that bead, but that bead is really small. So that's the first kind of half reason. The biggest reason is price. Now granted, this one's more expensive, but if you get a North American Arms 22 long rifle, 5-shot, it's a little over 200. This was 100 on the nose. So you're doubling your price. A little more than they're like. I think the average on the internet runs around 203, 205, something around that. You're doubling your price. If you're going to carry it all the time, like it's going to be your primary carry gun, I would definitely recommend going with one of these. You've got 5 shots. You have a little more powerful round. That's what I would recommend. But if it's something that you're just going to go jogging with every once in a while, you just want something light, you're probably never going to need it anyway while you're going jogging. If you live somewhere where it's not a big threat, something like this, there's nothing wrong with that. As long as, again, if you pair it with like a light knife. So that's going to be it for this one, and I will see you guys the next one. Bye.